University College London is a very prestigious school. Founded in 1826, one of its principal ideas was that anyone, regardless of race, creed, or religion, could attend. Indeed, they were the first college in England to admit women in the year 1878. Alumni of UCL include many notable names like Christopher Nolan, Alexander Graham Bell, Joseph Lister, and even Gandhi. It's said that many of the ideals which shaped UCL were the thoughts of one man, and his name was Jeremy Bentham. If you visit UCL, be sure to say hi to him because he's sitting in a booth in the lobby. Welcome to Weird Will Wednesday. This is the story of Jeremy Bentham, the eternal greeter. Jeremy Bentham is likely not a name that rings a bell for most Americans. Born in 1748, he was said to be a child prodigy. It's reported that he was found reading a multi-volume history of England at the age of 2 and that he began studying Latin at the age of 3. He learned violin by the age of 7. He attended the Queen's College, Oxford when he was 12, earning a bachelor's and then a master's degree by age 18. Then he trained as a lawyer and was called to the bar, but he never worked as one, citing a frustration with the complexity of English law. During a trip to visit his brother in what's now Belarus, Bentham conceived of an idea for a circular industrial building in which the manager could watch all employees at once. This thinking led him to design the modern prison layout, or as it's widely known, the Panopticon. The design was revolutionary and required less staff. He worked for 16 years with the British government to build a prison, but the plan fell through. The idea did stick, though, and has been used in the design of many prisons throughout the world. Bentham is perhaps most widely known for his philosophical and political ideas. He's considered the father of utilitarianism and was a huge proponent of the common law. He even wrote a letter to none other than President James Madison with an offer to write the legal system of the United States for him. Bentham was a progressive thinker for his time, and he's widely regarded as one of the first proponents of animal rights. He also called for gender equality and women's suffrage and the decriminalization of homosexuality. He opposed imperialism, slavery, and advocated for the separation of church and state, and he called for an end to capital punishment and an end to physical punishment of prisoners and of children. These forward-thinking ideals and his opposition to the church, which essentially controlled higher education, is what led to the founding of University College London. Though he didn't have much of a direct role in the founding of UCL, it's said that many of the people who did were influenced by him. Bentham believed that education should be more widely available to everyone, hence UCL's policy that everyone could attend. So anyway, in Bentham's will, he left instructions for his body to be desiccated and then posed as an auto icon. The idea was that it would be a memorial or a way in which someone could look back on their ancestors and be proud of them. He wrote an essay called Auto Icon in which he said if a country gentleman has rows of trees leading to his dwelling, the auto icons of his family might alternate with the trees, with varnish protecting their faces from the effects of the rain. So Bentham dies in 1832, and in accordance with his wishes, his body was desiccated and posed in a chair. The idea was that his head would be preserved and put onto his body, but that didn't work very well. Southwood Smith, the man who prepared his remains, did preserve his head, but it was left discolored and disfigured. So he makes a head of wax and places that instead on Bentham's body, and the head was kept separate. So from 1833 to around 1850, Bentham sits in Southwood Smith's offices greeting patients. After that, he was briefly kept by a woman named Margaret, a painter who did several studies of his body, and then Bentham was given to a guy named Henry, who brought Bentham to his final resting place, University College London. Since then, Bentham has remained at UCL. He even attended a college council meeting in 2013. Bentham's head has also been on display aside from a few years where it was locked away because of student pranks. Bentham has resided in a couple of different buildings, but currently resides in a glass case in the entrance to UCL's Student Center. Feel free to stop by and say hi to Jeremy, or maybe even take a selfie with him. So there you have it. That's the story of Jeremy Bentham. Be sure to follow me and tune in next week when we'll be talking about Fred, the inventor of the Pringles can.